Hello everybody and welcome to today's taster session for the Certificate in Digital and AI Evolution in Banking, brought to you by the Chartered Banker Institute. My name's Caroline Murray and I'm the Qualification Proposition Lead at the Chartered Banker Institute, and I'm going to be your host for the session today. I'm also joined by Simon Bailey, our Design and Delivery Lead, who's going to support one of the sections later in this webinar. For now though, it's really fantastic to have you all here. I'm just going to pause for a second and let the last few people join, and then we're going to make a start having a look at our agenda for today. Okay, so over the next 30 to 45 minutes, we're going to explore how this qualification will help you stay ahead in today's digital banking landscape. You're going to get a preview of our module content, hear about some of the industry trends, and experience a live demo of our learning platform. We're also going to have time for some questions and answers at the end, so please feel free to drop your questions in the chat as you go, and we're going to pick those up at the end of the session. Now, the Chartered Banker Institute is going to be familiar to many of you, particularly if you've been members of the Institute for a while. But for the benefit of anyone who is less familiar, we're celebrating our 150th year this year of providing a professional body for bankers, which enhances and sustains socially purposeful, responsible, and professional banking in the public interest. We've got a wide range of qualifications and membership levels to support us to do this and our members, and to make sure that we can continue to develop on that mission. So let's pause before we talk about the qualification itself to see who we've got in the room. So I'm going to share a quick poll just to understand what different roles people are undertaking that have joined the webinar today. So the poll should be on your screen. If you can just populate it with your particular role, please. Just going to wait about 10 seconds probably for people to finish putting in their role. Okay, thank you. Carly, are you able to share the results with us, please? Okay, so majority banking professionals, which is to be expected. No FinTech specialists. We've got some recent graduates and some other. So as I say, vast majority would regard themselves as banking professionals, which is really interesting. I think it shows just how valuable this qualification is going to be for you, with nobody identifying as being a FinTech specialist. This hopefully is really going to give you that knowledge and understanding to help you go forward in your professions and understand how digital and AI will work for you and for your banks. So let's have a look at how you will study then before we start looking at what it is that you're going to study if you take this qualification with us. So it's an entirely online qualification, and there are 4 interactive learning modules, and we've deliberately packed each of them with lots of real life case studies and practical applications, because that was something really important to us, that it was a relevant and practical qualification that was able to help and support you in your careers and help you support your customers. It's a self-paced qualification, so you can fit it around your own life, your work, and all of the other things that are taking up your time. It's 50 learning hours, and as I say, you've got up to 12 months to study that. You can do it as you want. You may be completely dedicated and want to take 2 weeks off work instead of having a summer holiday. Not sure that would be my choice, but it might be yours. So you might want to do it in a really short, condensed period of time, or you've got up to 12 months. It's really up to you to pace this qualification at your own rate and do it when it suits you. And then when you do complete the qualification successfully, you'll be issued with a digital certificate. So that's the how. Let's look at what. So this qualification has been designed for professionals who are looking to enhance their understanding of digital transformation and AI application in the banking sector. And it's suitable for you whatever level you are in the bank and whatever you currently specialise in. So it doesn't matter if you're in retail or corporate or in a call centre, any particular department of the bank, this qualification is being designed to cover all of those different areas and to make sure it's relevant to all of you in your roles. And then we've got 4 learning outcomes. Oh, sorry, I'm flicking through the screen too fast. 4 learning outcomes that you'll be able to meet by the end of your course of study. So by the time you finish, you'll be able to explain the scope and evolution of digital and AI transformation in banking. You'll be able to describe a range of digital systems, products, and models that operate in banking markets, identify key technology-based risks inherent in the commercial and operating aspects of AI and digital banking, and then lastly, assess the scope and impact of regulation of digital and AI technology in banking, as well as AI and digital banking professional and ethical considerations. So I hope you can see it's going to have a really good grounding of all of the knowledge that you need to equip you to go and do your role. Clearly, it's not going to be a specialist module if you are a tech person employed in a tech role, but for every banker who is in a customer-facing or a backstage role within the bank, this qualification is going to help equip you to understand how digital and AI operates in the bank and how you can use it to enhance the service and the products that you deliver to your customers. So I've mentioned the assessment quite quickly already, so let's just touch on the assessment before we move on to how this fits in with our framework and then what we're actually going to cover in the qualification. So it's assessed by a multiple choice exam, which you can take either in an exam centre or remotely. So it's a really flexible way of taking your assessment at the end. And again, you take that when you're ready. So you just book the exam when you're ready to take it at any point up to that 12-month registration period. And in the exam, you've got 40 questions, which you need to answer within an hour. And then to help you prepare for that exam, we've also got a mock exam, which is embedded in the learning content on our learning management system. And at the end of every unit, every piece of learning, there's a set of knowledge check questions so that you can check your knowledge and understanding. You also get a designation when you complete the qualification as well. So if this is the first qualification you've taken with Chartered Banker, you will be awarded a CCBI qualification, which means that you're a certified member of the Chartered Banker Institute. You may have already got that qualification, that designation. So if you have, fantastic, well done. If you haven't, it'll be awarded at the end of this qualification. Now, you can take the qualification as a standalone qualification, or you can also take it as part of our Associate Chartered Banker Diploma framework. If you do want to do the diploma, you need to take an extra 3 qualifications, and those 3 qualifications are also 60 learning hours each. So it'll take you another 180 learning hours, but you get the highly valued Associate Chartered Banker designation that you can use after your name on your email sign-offs or your LinkedIn profile, however you'll choose to use it. And you also get the diploma qualification. So a really valuable qualification, but it's entirely up to you whether you want to do this qualification in digital and AI as a standalone one, or if you want to continue your learning journey to get associate membership and then maybe even progress into a chartered membership. So let's actually look at what we're going to do in this qualification and if you choose to study it. So we all know that digital transformation is reshaping the banking industry. And in fact, recent studies show that 80% of banks are actively investing in AI-driven solutions to improve the customer experience and operational efficiency. So what we're going to do in the next section of this webinar is explore just 3 of the key AI-driven solutions that we cover in the module to give you a taste of what you'd learn and why it's important to you in your careers. So the 3 solutions we're going to look at today are AI-powered fraud detection, the use of chatbots for customer service, and the use of personalised banking through machine learning. So if we start with fraud detection, obviously it's a critical aspect of banking, and AI has significantly enhanced our ability to identify and prevent fraudulent activities. Traditional methods often rely on rule-based systems, and these can be really slow and less effective. AI, on the other hand, uses machine-based algorithms which are capable of analysing a vast amount of data transaction in real time. And these algorithms can help us detect unusual patterns and anomalies that may indicate fraud. So, for instance, if a customer's spending pattern changes, so if he's suddenly making purchases in a foreign country and you know he's a UK-based customer normally, the AI system will flag this as being suspicious and alert the bank. And being proactive in this way really helps banks prevent fraud before it creates any significant damage, either to the bank or, more importantly, to the customer. And AI systems also continually learn and adapt, so they're improving their accuracy all of the time over time. And then the second thing we're going to look at is chatbots for customer service. And we all know that providing a quick and efficient customer service is absolutely essential today in banking. AI-powered chatbots are transforming how we can interact with our customers. And these chatbots can handle a wide range of inquiries, from things like checking an account balance to answering questions about loan applications. And one of the key advantages of using a chatbot is their availability. They can provide 24/7 support, which means customers get the assistance in real time when they need it. They can also handle multiple queries simultaneously, so customers are waiting for less time, and it also improves customer satisfaction. These chatbots use natural language processing, which makes them understand and respond to customer queries in a conversational manner, making interactions more human-like. And they can even respond to emotions. So if they get the sense that a customer is angry or happy in the way they've responded, they can in turn respond to the way the tone in the customer's conversation, and then if necessary, escalate it so a human can take over that conversation. And then the last area we're going to look at is personalized banking. So machine learning enables banks to offer tailored financial services to their customers. By analysing data such as spending habits, income, and financial goals, the machine learning algorithms can provide personal recommendations and insights. So if a customer frequently spends on dining out, the bank can offer specialised deals and discounts at restaurants. Or if they're saving for a particular goal, like they want to buy their first home or to move to a slightly larger home, the bank can provide customers customized saving plans and investment advice to help facilitate that for them. And this level of personalization not only enhances the customer experience, but it helps build those stronger relationships between the bank and their customers. So why do we need to know about it? We know how it works. Why do we need to understand how it works? Well, financial fraud, you probably all know, is a growing concern, and cyber criminals are constantly developing new tactics, and the traditional methods are slow and rigid, and they can't keep up with the innovation that the financial criminals are coming up with all of the time. AI can help us tackle that and make sure that we're keeping our customers safe. It's also essential for maintaining customer trust and protecting our reputation as banks and bankers. There's increasing regulatory scrutiny, as you probably know from the workplace, to prevent fraud and ensure security, data security. And then if you think about the use of chatbots, modern customers expect that instant 24/7 support. Chatbots can help us meet those expectations, and they can reduce the workload on human agents, allowing people to focus on more complex issues, so giving more value back to the customers on those complex tasks. Implementing chatbots can also significantly reduce operational costs by automating routine inquiries. And then lastly, personalised services help us make sure that we're giving our customers satisfaction and we're building their loyalty, which is both of them are important for retaining customers in today's marketplace. And then if we're able to personalise those services and offer our customers tailored financial products and services, we can drive revenue growth per targeted cross-selling and upselling. So it's good for the customer and it's good for the bank. And then how can you use that knowledge that you will gain through studying this qualification to help support you with your career? Clearly, having a better understanding is going to help support your career, but it can also help your career development. So understanding these technologies can help lead to leadership roles, for example, in risk management and cybersecurity. Knowledge of AI-powered customer service tools helps you more valuable to banks who are looking to innovate. Understanding how chat boxes are used can help you go into roles that are focused on enhancing customer experience and satisfaction. And then more generally, just understanding digital and AI evolution helps you stay relevant in an industry that's changing really rapidly. And it also opens up career opportunities for you in technology-driven roles. And embracing these technologies can lead to more efficient operations, improve customer satisfaction, and stronger competitive positioning for banks. So it supports you in your career, it helps support your customers, and it helps make your banks or enable your banks to give better service to the customers. So I'm going to pause there and do another poll just to try and understand how much AI is impacting your current job or your studies at the moment. And again, I'm going to pause for about 10 seconds for you to populate your choice. So you've got a lot at the top, going all the way down to actually not at all. You're very new to AI. I'm going to hold on about another 5 seconds. Okay, thank you. Carly, would you share with us the results, please? I suspected this would be the case. AI is so commonly used in banking. We saw that 80% of banks are using AI. It's really not surprising that you use AI a lot regularly in banks. So in a few minutes, I'm going to ask you how well you understand the use of AI, but I'm going to leave that one for now. Okay, so for now, I'm going to move on to the next part of the session, and I'm going to move across and pass to Simon, who's our learning design manager, and he's going to give you a live demo of what the learning actually looks like if you choose to come and study with us. So Simon, I'll move to you, please.
Okay, thank you, Caroline. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll just quickly share my screen and hopefully everyone will see. Right, hopefully that can be seen. Can everyone see that?
Yes, thank you, Simon.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, good afternoon again. This is a quick introduction to the format of the courses and how they actually look. This particular course, the Digital and AI Evolution in Banking, is based on 4 individual units, and these 4 units are shown here and are accessible by clicking on the actual icons. We also have a mock exam and a feedback section in the course and an introduction. When we go into the introduction and click through, you will see that the course is launched, and it has this particular format. It has the header, the hero image, as we call them, to give it the context. And as we move through, there is a description of the course itself. And each course now has an accessibility transcript. This is to make the course more accessible for those who have difficulty in accessing the e-learning in itself. It is a document which has been produced with specific font sizes and headings, and is organized in such a way that it is read cleanly with screen readers and makes it easier for people to actually read the content. Following through, each course has its aims and objectives. In this case, the qualification aims and objectives are shown here, and the learning outcomes, and the structure and the format and delivery of the course, along with associated learning resources, which are inclusive, the module specification, details of browser support and how to actually work your way through the actual course itself, hyperlinks which are embedded within the courses to help for further learning, and the actual assessment process and awards. These are standard things which are in the course, and then when the course is, when you've actually completed a particular section, we click the completion here and close the actual page. When going into an actual unit itself, we'll start off with Unit 1 here. The first thing that is displayed is obviously the hero image, banner image again. And the course is divided, each unit is divided into individual sections. So in this case, you can see the sections from the introduction to the actual unit itself, and the actual sections to the course. In this case, there are 9 main sections: a test your knowledge section, which Caroline referred to earlier, a summary, and the unit completion, which you've just seen to show to make sure that the course is shown as complete. So if we actually go into the actual introduction, in this particular course, there is an introduction video to each unit. We'll go back to that later on. And in this case, the course actually has a kind of little form of kind of poll in that you can actually select items here and get some feedback according to what selection you've actually put in. We have a glossary of key terms. So all the key terms that are actually used in the unit, they're actually shown in an actual document here for easy reference. Again, an accessibility transcript. Each unit has its own accessibility transcript, as we saw in the introduction unit. And as we move through, there is the navigation system at the bottom. And as you click through, it takes you through to the actual learning content. There is quite a lot of text to manage in these courses, as they are detailed in the information that's provided. And as a result, we try to break up the text with images and other forms of interactivity to make the course easier to read and navigate through. In this case, we use extensive use of images, and the images are although aesthetic in nature, they don't actually provide any information themselves. We do tend to choose them to make sure they're relevant to the actual course material being delivered. In this case, we have a text and the images. And here we have another kind of interactive object. This is called an image media carousel. And it basically consists of the ability to move through. And as you navigate through, you read the content and see the images as you go through. Moving through, we then have the ability in this particular course to select sort of kind of opinions or thoughts on particular questions. So in this case, if you're asked to feel about digitization, you can choose where you think you are on that list and then submit and go through each one. And these are then retained for future reference from what you've actually submitted. Moving through the actual course, again, we have another media carousel with the content displayed. And placed throughout this actual course, there are also sort of quick sort of multiple choice questions just to give you sort of some ideas of as how you're getting on with the actual course. And in this case, you just choose your answer and then press a submit. In this case, that one's not correct, and it tells you the answers as you go through. Moving through the content, quite often there is a lot of content which is quite wordy, and we try to avoid long vertical scrolls of content. In this case, we have something which is called an accordion. It's a way of displaying information where you have the actual headings and you click on the headings and the content opens up. You're able to read the text and then close it and move on to the next one. It just makes, particularly on mobile devices, the content easier to actually follow through. Again, we go on to ways of showing the information. Here we have another component for delivery called tabs, and you click between the different tabs to see the information as you go through. The content, this course has a lot of case studies. In this case, we have one on TSB's information technology. And as we go through, we also have questions which are questions where you can kind of have a thought and then click on them and find out the actual feedback or on them. Again, moving through, more text and graphics. Again, to try and make the content more accessible and more interesting and easier on the eye. More questions as we go through. And then we have information which is given up in some form of infographics or hot graphics. And in this particular case, we have information which is on a graphic. You'll see these pulsating plus signs. When you click on the plus sign, the content is then delivered. You can either click through each sign individually, or you can just click, scoot through as you read through with the navigation buttons here. Again, more questions that you can follow through. And here we have the content again divided up into tabs where we have the headings, and you can click on to see the actual content and learning material. Again, the ability to get some feedback from answering questions. And again, the ability to look at graphs. When we have graphs of this nature, it's a little difficult to read in this format, so there are enlarged features, and that allows you to enlarge the actual the information, read it, and then close and continue with your work. Here again, we have another form of content delivery. These are called flip cards. They tend to make the content look a little bit more attractive. In this case, we have flip cards where you have an image, you click on the image, and the content is then delivered as it turns. In this case, it's the generation differences all the way from the baby boomers all the way through to Generation Z. Again, we carry on through with content and questions, each with links to them. Another feature that there is that when you have questions, you can think about them, kind of reflect on them, and then when you're ready, reveal the actual answers, the sample answers. So in this case, they were hidden until they were selected by the learner. So that's a kind of brief view as to how the content looks and how it's actually delivered. I mentioned earlier that we, in this particular course, start each unit with an introduction video, and I thought I'd finish off the demonstration by showing the introduction video for the next unit in the course.
Welcome to Unit 2 of Digital and AI Evolution in Banking. In this unit, we will examine the various digital systems, products, and models that banks use. In Unit 1, we looked at the functions of banks, their internal systems, and how these are supported by digital technologies. Now we are going to take a step back and look at the big picture systems. As part of this, we will build on the ideas from Unit 1 and dig deeper into the systems that support key banking functions. Like all other companies, banks do not exist in a vacuum. They serve society and the economy by helping people address their financial needs. Many significant life events have a financial dimension, such as buying a home, saving for retirement, and getting married. All of these events, big and small, involve the movement of money from one person or business to another. Banks and other financial services institutions facilitate the movement of money through payment systems. Additionally, banks must reflect the values and goals of the societies they operate in. We will explore how banks can do this through a sustainability lens, something that has become fundamentally important in recent years. Thank you for joining us. Let's get started.
Okay, thank you. And that's how we turn back to you, Caroline.
Thank you, Simon. It's not playing ball with me at the moment. That's better. That was what I was looking for. Okay, so I'd like to do a quick poll. We've had an idea of what learning you will cover by doing the module, and we've seen what the learning actually looks like and how it's delivered. So let's have a quick poll just to see how confident you are about using AI in banking. So 1 is not very confident and 5 is very confident. So I'm going to give everyone about 10 seconds to answer that question. Okay, thank you, Carly. Do you want to share the answers with us? Okay, so everyone has got a reasonable level of confidence. So no one has said not confident at all. But I think most people seem to have been around a 2. But it's nice to see there is quite a spread across the areas. We've got 31, 23, 23, 23. So it looks like most people have got a reasonable level of confidence about AI. And I think undertaking this module may even take you into a 5. It would give you that knowledge and understanding of how it's used, how it fits in, and how it supports in your banking roles. So that was really interesting. Thank you very much for your comments. I'm going to stop now talking about the module itself and come into your questions. See, I'm not a technical expert. Then if it's a technical question, I'm not going to be able to answer, but I'll do my best if you've got any questions about enrolment or the module or what you might learn across the module. First question is, will generative AI be a key part of the content? Yes, it is. We cover it in probably every single unit. It's threaded through all of it because all AI now is generative and we need to understand how banks use it, how it supports what we do. So yes, is the short answer. That's the only question I can see at the moment, but please, if you've got any questions, put them into the chat box now and we'll come on to them. Okay, while I'm waiting for questions, I'm just going to talk you through enrolment very quickly. So if you are interested in enrolling, you can go on the website, click on the module and click on the enrolment tab that's linked to that particular module, or you can email our inquiries team at info@charteredbanker.com, or of course just look on LinkedIn or any of the social media pages. So that's enrolment. I can see one more question has come through. Would the certificate be useful for someone not currently working in a bank, but looking to transition into digital banking? Absolutely. We do have another qualification that would also help you. We've got professional banker certificate that if you don't know anything about banking and you want to understand what banks do, what customers need from banks, how banks are regulated before you come into this module, that would be the ideal first qualification for you. But if you've got a reasonable understanding of how banks work, what products and services they use, and you just want to understand how digital fits into it, then yes, come straight into this qualification. And the next question, after Associate Chartered Banker, what more needs to be done for Chartered Banker? Well, we're actually launching a new pathway into Chartered Banker at the moment. So the first module will be coming out this summer. So in our new pathway, you will take 2 compulsory qualifications, both 15 credits, so 150 learning hours each. So a little bit bigger than this qualification, which was 50. But you take your 2 qualifications. The first one is leadership, strategy and risk. And the second one is professional and ethical banking. And I say first and second, you don't have to take them in that order. That's just the order that we're launching them in. So the first one that we will be bringing out in the summer is leadership, strategy and risk. But you take those 2 qualifications, and once you've passed them, you are a chartered banker. If you've already started your journey to being a chartered banker on one of our old pathways, you can continue that old pathway, or you can move across and transition into our new pathway, and we will give you credit for the modules that you've already taken. So next question, is there a high-level overview of what each module covers that you can share? Yes, we've got module specifications for all of those qualifications, and I'll make sure that the module specifications are sent out at the end of this webinar with any questions that we don't cover off. So we'll send out the module specifications for all 4 of the Associate Chartered Banker qualifications that we've currently got, of which this is one, and we'll be launching more qualifications later in the year. So we'll send that out to you after the webinar, but all that information is also available on our website. So what you're looking for is the document called Module Specification on the website, and that gives an overview of all of the qualifications. I'm just going to pause for about another 30 seconds and see if there are any more questions. Otherwise, we'll close the webinar for today. Okay, it doesn't look like any more questions are coming. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed the session. I hope you found it informative. There is more information, as I've said, available on the website, and we'll make sure that we share module specifications with you as well. But I really hope to see you enrolling for the module soon. Thank you for your time today.